My name is Jeff Lung, and I grew up in the church. And then in my teenage years, our church went through some church hurt. We had an incident there that really scarred me. And when I got to college, I started to believe that Christianity was silly. Well, not just Christianity, but religion in general was silly, and it was for delusional people who don't understand science. And before I knew it, I was full on into the new atheist movement. 2004, I ran into some real trouble. I got involved in the ecstasy scene, and I got this bright idea that I'm gonna bring some pills back to Illinois, where I was from, and try to sell them to the college market, because I had a lot of friends in college still. And I got caught. I served 2 years during that time. Prison life drills into you that you are nothing. You're stupid, you're ignorant, you're dumb, you don't deserve anything, you know, just awful things. And that was the time where I really felt that God was dead to me. In 2007, I went on parole. I had a real hard time adjusting to normal life. I got married in 2016, which was great, but work and my marriage was all I focused on. That's all I did. And when I ended up losing both of those things in 2020, that was a real rough period for me. And I really still haven't recovered 100% from the divorce. I never thought I would get divorced. I thought I was gonna be married forever. My dad lives in Conroe with his wife, and so I moved here to be closer to them, and suddenly I found myself without any purpose. And my art studio is on Fish Creek, and I would drive up and down Fish Creek every day to get there and come back. So every day I'd see the sign on the road that says, "Be love, be peace, be hope." Kind of get sick of it after a while. Felt like it was mocking me because I didn't have any of those things. I didn't have love, peace, or hope. I didn't know who I was, where I was going, and I felt alone. And there's that sign every single day: be love, be peace, be hope. I wanted to go in and check it out, but that would be silly of me because I don't believe any of that stuff. And then around July of 2023, I finally decided, okay, I'm gonna go into that church tomorrow and I'm gonna check it out. Be love, be hope, be peace. What does that mean? The first time I was very terrified. I get to the church and there's so many cars. I've never seen so many people trying to get in at the same time. And I get to the parking lot and I just felt anxiety, like, leave, don't be here. You don't want to be here. That's what I heard in my head. And so I fought it. I went inside and it was packed. And I was terrified, but at least the lights were dark, they were dim, so I could kind of sneak in, and I found a spot. And, you know, the environment, all the people, I look around, people are into this, whatever's happening here. And I just started crying, bawling like a baby. It was mentioned that we're all broken people here. We're all being restored somehow. And I felt like, I need that. I want that. Anyway, the service ends and I leave. I bolt. I get out of there. I don't want to talk to anyone. I thought, all right, I got that out of my system. But then I didn't. I wanted to go back the next weekend. And that was super bizarre. I couldn't understand it. Like, why do I want to go to church? And I just went. And I did the same thing. I snuck in. I snuck out. I didn't talk to anybody. I did that 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks in a row. I only said, okay, I gotta talk to somebody about this stuff. So I filled out one of those Connect cards and didn't think anything of it. And I was super surprised that Pastor Ted called me a couple days later, like an actual human being called me. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to this pastor. I'm gonna tell him what I know. So I went in and I had super nice sit down, but I ended up telling my life story and bawling like a baby. And then he introduced me to Brandon Smith, and then I hooked up with Brandon and I started having coffee with him. And so I just started an education. I went to a life group. I got accepted to a life group, told them the same thing. First night, hey everybody, just want you to know, I don't believe in any of this stuff. And now it's been another year of study and working and trying to come to grips with all of this. And in January, I finally got the sign I was looking for. I was in Houston that night. I had an art show in Houston. Came out, found that someone had broken into my car. But the big deal was that my book bag that was sitting on the passenger seat was gone. All my sketchbooks, all my ideas, my journal, a lot of things that were important to me, gone. And I was angry, and I started kicking and screaming and yelling at God. Okay, God, if you're real, like, what do you want from me? I literally screaming at the sky. And as I'm doing that, my phone rings, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and it was a voice on the phone I didn't recognize. He said, "Hey, are you Jeff?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I think I have something of yours. Did you lose a book bag?" And I get there, and there's a gentleman standing outside, and I pulled up and rolled down the windows, like, "Hi." And he said, "Are you Jeff?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I think this is yours." And he handed me the book bag. I looked through it, and everything was there. My laptop, the tablet, everything, all the journals, all my stuff, nothing was gone. People had rifled through it, but nothing was gone. And that just does not happen every day. And I felt like, okay, God is listening to me. And a couple weeks later, Men's Advance came up. And I really didn't want to go. But this thing just happened to me. This miracle just happened. This providence from God just happened to me. I need to go to Men's Advance. I need to do whatever he says. And as I'm pulling up to Men's Advance, I'm getting the ruminations of turn around, leave, don't be here, you don't belong here, you're not a Christian, you're not worthy, all these things. And I'll tell you what, that weekend was miraculous for me. Like, I get chills just every time I start talking about it. It was so powerful in that room, that little tiny room with all those dudes singing at the top of our lungs. That was powerful. And I watched people's lives change there. And I was like, man, okay, I gotta get on this program because this is what I'm looking for. This is being love. This is being peace. This is being hope. And as I've tried to find out what God wants me to do with this transformation I'm living, I just started telling the stories that I'm experiencing through the work. A lot of times I will have a passage in my head while I'm working. Sometimes that'll end up being in the piece. You know, I do a lot of works of people praying and being in the quiet place because those are things that I'm doing a lot and trying to understand. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I got into the church because I wanted to be love, be peace, be hope. And that's what I got now. So why wouldn't I keep doing it and telling others about it?